Today we're going to look at some Kendall Fuller film. I'll be really honest with you. Before the playoffs started, before the Juan Thornhill injury, I was pretty confident that Kendall Fuller would not be a Kansas City Chief player moving forward. I'm still not sold on what the Chiefs will decide to do, but after looking at some film and after watching the NFL playoffs live as the Chiefs made their run to a Super Bowl victory, I realized that I think Kendall Fuller has a lot more value with this team now. He's proven that he can play deep safety and do it pretty well. He also has 3 years of experience as a cornerback. The thing about Kendall Fuller is only 25 years old. He has played 4 full seasons. Put that in comparison to someone like Juan Thornhill. Juan Thornhill, who is amazing, and I'm really glad he's a part of our team. He has played 1 season, and he is 24 years old. On top of that, Kendall Fuller, he is just about 6 feet tall. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, and he ran a 4.48 40. Thornhill is 6 feet, 210 pounds, and he ran a 4.42 40. So they're similar in a lot of ways. I do believe Thornhill is a more explosive athlete, and that's why Juan Thornhill was a starting safety and will be a starting safety. But I think moving forward, Kendall Fuller can give this team something. He can give them a guy who can play deep safety, but who can also get out and who can cover on the outside. Maybe not number 1 wide receivers, but he can cover 2 or 3 receivers. He can cover tight ends. He can cover wide receivers, the smaller guys, the slot guys. I think that's valuable for this team. So we're going to look at some of the plays from the playoffs that I think gave Kendall Fuller a really good shot at getting a second contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get into the film. All right, the first play we're going to look at from the playoffs here is against the Texans. And in this play, it's the first quarter, 2:09 left, and we're down 14-0. We all know the start that we got off to against the Houston Texans. And this is down in the red zone. So we take a look at this play, and the Texans are in a 3-by-1 formation. It's 11 personnel. They have a bunch to the top half of the screen. Kendall Fuller is the quote-unquote deep safety, but he is the deepest player back there playing center field. And in this play, the Texans are going to fake a handoff to the left, and they're going to bring their tight end on the bunch side across the formation underneath and try to put Daniel Sorensen in a dilemma. But you'll notice that everyone does their job, and Kendall Fuller, the deep safety, comes up and he helps make a tackle. And that's the important thing, is that everyone does their job, and Kendall Fuller does his job. K-Pass gets out there and helps to string the play out. Sorensen does his job. Bashad Breeland does his job. And here comes Kendall Fuller. There's an alley there. Deshaun Watson heads that direction, but Kendall Fuller helps to make a play. That's a good run stop there. All right, this second play is also from the Houston Texans game. At this point, it's the third quarter, and the Chiefs are up 41-24 with 4:21 left in the third quarter. And in this formation, you'll see that there are 2 tight ends to the right side of the formation tight, and 2 wide receivers split to the top half of the screen. Will Fuller is on the line of scrimmage in the slot. Watson's under center. They're going to do a play-action fake, and they're going to try to hit Will Fuller deep. You see, the linebackers don't get a ton of depth. If Will Fuller sits down right there, he might have a shot to get a good gain, but he's going deep. They're looking for the deep shot, and Kendall Fuller is the safety in this cover 2 look, who over the top is right in position. This is a mofo look. As a pastor, I don't often get to say mofo in public, but mofo is middle of field open because it's a 2 safety look. So on a play like this, trying to split those safeties is something you want to try to do, especially with a speed burner like Will Fuller. But Kendall Fuller does a good job. Daniel Sorensen is there as well. They take it away, and they force him to look elsewhere with the football. In this one, it's about 55 seconds left in the third quarter. It's 41-24, Chiefs lead, but the Texans are making their way. It's 1st and 5 on the 5-yard line. And so we'll see 11 personnel with a 3-by-1 set, 3 to the left, and a wide receiver to the right. They're in the shotgun. And on this play, Kendall Fuller, he almost makes a play, man. He gets real close. In this play, I'm not really talking about what Kendall Fuller does, but it's just the effort. He's down here lined up, on this bunch side, and he almost gets in there. He gets blocked, but just really that willingness to get out there and try to cover receivers. I appreciate seeing that kind of effort from him. He's willing to be up around the line of scrimmage, and he's willing to do what needs to be done, even if he gets put in an unfavorable situation. Obviously, in this play, it doesn't turn out the way that we would like it to, but I just want to show that willingness, that he's willing to get up around the line of scrimmage, in there with the big boys, and do his best. All right, here we have a 7:14 left in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs are up 51-31. We'll see here that Houston is an 11 personnel. It's a 3-by-1 set. They're in the shotgun with the running back to the right of Watson. Kendall Fuller is the deep safety in the center of the field, but they're going to roll the cover 2 look here. And we'll see that, again, they're trying to attack the middle of the field, and they're doing it with the big tight end. And you see Kendall Fuller. He comes up because there's good coverage underneath. And we have Tyrann Mathieu, who ends up dropping and kind of rolling underneath of Fells. And Fuller's there, and he makes a nice hit. And, I know that this play in this game's kind of in hand, but guys, remember that. He didn't lay him out, didn't get a penalty, but he put a good lick on him, and he was in position. And guys, remember, going over the middle of the field, hey, these safeties, they're in position. And it was a good play to put a lick on him, and at a ball he had a chance to catch. Not a great chance, but he had a chance. And so good play there by Kendall Fuller and Tyrann Mathieu with the coverage underneath. And now we move on to the AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans. This is 13:39 left in the second quarter. It's a 10-7 game with the Titans having the lead. We'll see this is 11 personnel, and it's a 3-by-1 set that motions to a 2-by-2 set. And Kendall Fuller, he follows that motion. He goes from playing safety to up again on the line of scrimmage, and here he is again, sticking his nose in there on a running play against a very different running back than Carlos Hyde, or a very different running back than Raheem Mostert or anybody that the Niners would have. This is Derrick Henry. And Kendall Fuller doesn't necessarily make the play, but he sticks his nose in there, and he puts his team in a position to get a big stop. And again, I respect that effort by Kendall Fuller, sticking his nose in there and doing what needs to be done. Here he's pointing right at it. He knows something's up. He knows where the ball is going. And he looks at Charvarius Ward, and he points to that spot, and he comes up and he makes the play. All right, this play, it's 10:01 left in the second quarter. It's 10-7. The Chiefs are still losing. And this is a 2nd and 22 play for them, but I just want to draw your attention to what Kendall Fuller does on this play. So it's a 3-by-1 set, 11 personnel, and they're under center, which they were a lot. And on this play, Kendall Fuller's playing the deep cover 2 safety. It's a mofo look. Middle of the field is open. And Hitchens does a really good job of carrying with that wide receiver who's attacking the middle, the open space in that. And Kendall Fuller, he's just in position. And if this ball doesn't get tipped by Brown, Fuller may pick it off. But he's just a smart football player. And then once again, he finds himself in position to make a play. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Super Bowl. Against the Titans, with the type of offense they have, we didn't see as much Kendall Fuller, but we see more Kendall Fuller against the 49ers. So this is the second quarter, 2nd and 9 play with 9:11 left, and the Chiefs are up by 7. So you see in this play, George Kittle motions across, and Kendall Fuller follows him. Now it's cool to think that the Chiefs trust Kendall Fuller to go and to guard one-on-one the second best tight end in the NFL. The best tight end that he'll have to face in a real game. Now, this is a run play to that side, and again, this isn't Kendall Fuller's expertise. But Kendall Fuller isn't scared. He's not afraid to get in there, stick his nose in, and do what he has to do. And he's a smart football player. He knows where plays are going. He helps to get other people in position on a lot of plays, and he can be trusted to do those things. And so I just like to see the trust that Steve Spagnuolo has in Kendall Fuller, and then the ability for him to at least be in the right spot, to be flowing in the right direction, trying to make a play. Okay, in this one we have about 6:24 left in the second quarter. The Chiefs are still up 10-3, and it's a 1st and 10 play. And in this play, I just like the versatility that Kendall Fuller is able to show. He goes from playing safety. He follows motion a lot. And in this play, it's Emmanuel Sanders that now he's covering out wide. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders could arguably be their best route runner. He probably is their best route runner, maybe their number one receiver overall. And Kendall Fuller is trusted to go out and cover him. And honestly, for the Niners not to look at that as an immediate just opportunity to run a go route, an opportunity to take advantage of it, Kendall Fuller does his job, and they have to look in another direction. They do complete the pass, but once again, Kendall Fuller can be trusted to do a lot of things in the secondary, and I really, really like that. All right, so now we're looking at a tie ball game with about a minute left in the second quarter, and Kendall Fuller, once again, he comes up from that safety position, and he creeps up towards the line of scrimmage, almost linebacker depth, and he flows across the play, and honestly, he makes a great tackle. If a cornerback makes that tackle, it is a great tackle. If a safety makes that tackle, it's a good tackle. And this is a guy who just started playing safety. He flows across and he tackles a running back, and he does a really, really good job on that play. All right, so now we get to the good stuff. This is 2:02 left in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs are up by 4 points. It's a 1st and 15 play. And as we'll see here in just a second, this play is 11 personnel, 3-by-1 formation that motions to a 2-by-2. And once again, Kittle goes in motion, and look who's covering him, Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller works through contact, and he makes the tackle on George Kittle. George Kittle is a yak monster. The dude is a beast. He's the second best tight end in the NFL, as I've already said. Only Travis Kelce is better. Yes, that is a fact. And Kendall Fuller, he holds him up until help can come, and that's a great play for any secondary guy against a guy like George Kittle. All right, so this brings us to under 2 minutes left. 1:44 left in the Super Bowl, fourth quarter. Chiefs are up 24-20. Honestly, this is one of the main plays that made me want to do this review on Kendall Fuller. It was the first play that really caught my attention live watching the Super Bowl. And so in this play, the Niners end up in a 2-by-2 set, and they're in the shotgun, and Kendrick Bourne is lined up in the slot here to the top of the screen, and he's going to try to just get into the middle of this 2-deep safety look, right? And it's a mofo look. Middle of the field is open, and Kendall Fuller, man, he reads and reacts, and he makes a great play. Diving pass breakup, man, almost gets the interception. Check it out from this other view. Kendall Fuller, he knows what he's doing, man. He's a smart player. He reads it, boom, gets up there, makes the play. All right, here we have our last play of our Kendall Fuller review, and the play that sealed the Super Bowl victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. 31-20 Chiefs, minute 2 left. The Niners are desperate in a 3-by-1 formation, and they're going to try to hit the middle of the field on this middle of the field open look. And Kendall Fuller, baby, he makes a play. Like, that's not just being in the right position. That's not just being an intelligent football player. That is absolutely making a clutch play in a clutch moment in a time when it absolutely matters. And he goes up and he gets it. He takes the ball away from Kendrick Bourne, who is a big wide receiver. He is good at going up and getting the football. And look what Kendall Fuller does to give the Chiefs their first Super Bowl victory in 50 years. This was a fantastic play. This was the play that I was like, I have to look closer at Kendall Fuller. And that concludes my Kendall Fuller film review. Like I said, I don't know what the Chiefs will decide to do with Kendall Fuller, but it is my opinion that a guy who can cover slot, he can play outside if needed, he can play deep safety, that is a guy you want on this team. I don't know what the price or the market will be for Kendall Fuller. Honestly, I think it's higher than it would have been before the playoffs. Because when the Juan Thornhill injury happened, Kendall Fuller stepped up for this team in a big way. And don't forget, Kendall Fuller is only 25 years old. He's just now entering his prime. I think the Chiefs could sign him for a reasonable contract, and they could allow Tyrann Mathieu to play all over the field as he did this year. And they could roll out a safety look, a 2-deep safety look at times with Kendall Fuller and Juan Thornhill. And they could be in a really good spot and have really good depth at the safety position. That's just my opinion. I've done a little bit of looking into the film. We'll see what Brett Veach and company decide to do. But I will say this, that I like Kendall Fuller at this point more than I ever have before. And I do truly hope that Kendall Fuller is a Kansas City Chiefs for several more seasons.